Hello year one and happy Monday. It is the final week of our home learning. Can you believe it? We have come so far and this is your final stretch now to the end, and next week we will be all back together in the classroom. Woohoo! So let's get started then for our final week of comprehension learning. It is Monday the 1st of March. It is a new month. So when we write our date, we will be using the word March instead of February, a new month. And we are going to be working today on your comprehension booklet, and we are on page 6. So you can get that ready today. You will also need your yellow lined workbook and a pencil, okay? Now last week, I saw some fantastic learning in your yellow lined workbook, and we were focusing on our high frequency words, weren't we? And this week we are going to carry on because I was blown away with how well you were working on your presentation and your high frequency words. So today, before we move on to our learning, I thought that we could do a little game. Now you can see here on the board, I have got a wheel, and this is called the Wheel of Fortune. And when I click the middle, it's going to spin and it's going to land on a high frequency word. This week we have got 10 new high frequency words to have a go at, okay? And don't forget, high frequency words, they might be tricky words, but they are also words that we see in our books and anything we read all the time. And that's why they are called high frequency words, because we will read them a lot in our reading. So the more practice we have now, the more we will be able to remember them just by looking at them, just like our tricky words. So that will help us to read a lot quicker. And remember, that word is called fluency. So before we start our game, I want you to get your yellow lined workbook, and we're going to write our date on the very top line. And today it is Monday. Don't forget those finger spaces. It is the first day, wow, the first day of a new month, and the new month is March. Don't forget our year, it is 2021. Okay, so if you need to, pause the video now and really take your time to start your workbook today with a fantastic date, making sure that it is the best that you can do, okay? And then once you've done that, we're going to spin the wheel and we're going to see if we can write what high frequency word it lands on, okay? So are we ready for the first one? Let's spin the wheel. Okay, so the first tricky word. Now we can actually chop and blend this one, but shout it out if you know it by sight. Shout it to me. Well done, year one. It is but. But. So let's go to our workbook now, and we're going to write it down all together on the line. So leave a line underneath your date, and we're going to write it here, okay? Now can you see my letters, my tall ladder letters reach the top, and then my is only half the size. Finger space, and moving on. Now some of us last week got bigger and bigger as we went along the line. Take your time all the way along. So the first high frequency word today is but. Let's go then back to our wheel. Are we ready for the next one? Spin the wheel. Let's go. What's it going to land on? Okay, shout it out if you know it. Tell an adult at home. And again, we can chop and blend this one. It's got a phase 3 sound at the beginning. At, that. Okay. That cat has a black furry tail. That. Back to your yellow line workbook then. See if you can remember it. Leave a line. Tricky word and high frequency word. That. The. At. Finger space. There's lots of tall letters in this word. Make sure they are reaching the top of that line. All the way along. Okay? Now this time I'm going to spin the wheel a few times in a row. Okay? So you can pause the board after each spin and write it in your book. I'm going to do 4 more spins. Are we ready? So then we'll have 6 words in our books for today. Spin number 1. Oh, we've just had that one. Let's go again. Ready? Okay. High frequency word. With. If. With. Okay, pause if you need to and practice it in your yellow book. Next one. Okay, have that one. Ready? Oh. Now, this is a really, really easy one. It's one of our 2-letter high frequency words. Up. 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 Okay, pause if you need to. You're going to practice in your yellow lined book. Next one. 2 more to go. Okay, you know this one. We've used this one lots. All. Don't forget, you need 2 alls in this word. All. Well done. Last one. What's it going to be? Oh, it's landed on an easy one. You know this one. It's our tricky word. We. Well done. We. Okay. So finish off now, making sure you've got all of those words and you've practiced them and you're happy. See if you can read them from sight, okay? Keep practicing them until you remember them. So now we've done our game for the day, we are going to move on to our activity. So let's have a look at what we have got to do today. Our learning question is asking us, can I read and match the sentence to the correct picture? Now, because you are super readers, I've made our sentences today a little bit harder. And each word that is missing is an action word, okay? And I'll give you a clue. It's got ng at the end. So that will help you when we are writing, okay? And we are going to read each sentence, use the pictures to help us. And we are going to write the missing word and we're going to match the sentence to the right picture. So let's do the first one together, okay? So I want you to make sure that you can see the screen nice and clearly and we're going to read together. So the first word and the first sentence is a tricky word and it's a tricky word, she. Well done. She is something with a rope. Now, this word at the end is a tricky word because it is something called a split digraph, which we might not have done yet. However, we might be able to have decoded that by looking at the pictures to help us. So we know, because it begins with she, that we're looking for a girl. Now, we know that she is doing something with something to help her. And if we look, the first letter is R, isn't it? And I know that this girl here is skipping with a rope. So even if I didn't know my split digraph, I could have worked that out. And that's what reading and comprehension is all about. So, she is something with a rope. Now I know that looking at my pictures and thinking of my ng words, I know the word is going to be skipping. She is skipping with a rope. So we're going to write the word and then we're going to match the sentence to the picture, okay? So first, let's chop our word skipping. Skip. Okay, so let's chop it in half. Skip-ing, okay? Skipping. We've listened to each sound in the word and now we're going to write it together. Skip. Now, I know that I need 2 pillars in my word. And I've got my ng sound at the end and it's my action word, isn't it? She is skipping with a rope. And I'm going to match that now all the way down to make sure that I've put it with the correct picture. Now, You have got 2 more sentences to read and 2 more words to fill in, and then you could even draw a picture in your book so I know which sentence matches which picture. So in your yellow workbook now, you can write each sentence with the matching picture and make sure you have filled in the word, okay? Once you have done that, we can then move on to your workbook for the day. And because we have done this activity together, your workbook will be easy peasy. I promise. Let's have a look together. So today in your workbook, you're working on page 6. And you can see on page 6, you have got 4 very simple sentences that you need to read and you are going to decode. And then you have got 4 animals down the side. So you have got to read the sentence about each animal and see which one matches, just like we have just done with our action words and our action pictures, okay? So don't forget, add your sound buttons, see how much you can decode, so chop it up, see how much you can read independently, okay? And it would be really nice if adults could just let me know by putting a little tick or a cross above any words that we're really struggling with, okay? So, have a go at page 6 today. You should be able to do this quite independently after the activity we've just done as well. I know you're going to do a super job. And then once you've done that, as always, Miss James has got a challenge for you. And today's challenge, I would like you to draw a picture and write me a matching sentence. And it can be about anything. You could write me a sentence about your own pet and draw me a picture. You could write me a sentence about Sandon and draw me a picture. You could write a sentence about one of your teachers and draw a picture of them. Have a go at this challenge today. Don't forget, capital letters, finger spaces, full stops, and read it again, okay? Have a brilliant day. It's the start of a new week and I know that our last week of learning together is going to be fantastic. And I'll see you tomorrow.